All right, so crypto market update. Not a heck of a lot has happened and with Bitcoin since yesterday, except that we did bounce off of that descending trend line, produced a nice looking hammer candle, right? On the lower time frames, you had a nice bull flag, and a breakout from the bull flag. Type of thing. And so that was the breakout point on the bull flag. So now we just play the waiting game. Now it's just a waiting game. It's called Make Your Move, Bitcoin. What are you going to do? The question is, will we get a final push up before max chaos? Right, this is the next breakout area. I would call it 2800 clean. Boom. For confirmation. And obviously 3000. And that's that, really. And everything's kind of a little bit bullish. I would say cautiously bullish as far as altcoins, because Bitcoin has bounced a little bit. Right? I say cautious because we're not out of the woods yet. Right? So even though I'm long, I'm still kind of watching the markets like a hawk, right? I'll be paying attention. As far as other altcoins are concerned, I mean, there's been a lot of hoopla about Litecoin lately. Looks like Litecoin hit into some resistance. Pulled back a little bit. It could still be bullish. If it breaks out, it could make a move to the upside, but I mean, this would be the area if it did make a move. But it's not my cup of tea. It's just not my cup of tea. Doesn't mean it's not a good trade. Just means it's not my cup of tea. Could go to $100, but I don't know. I'm comfortable with missing out of things. I make a lot of profit that I don't really need to be in every single thing. I just don't like buying things that are really high. I don't like $50 Litecoins. But as a specific trade with a measured target, a measured exit, then, one would have to treat it with proper risk management. And, we've retested prior resistance turn support. So definitely possible, but, could always just pull off one of these too, right? It could just flop. So as far as Jim's saying he bought Litecoin at 350 and has a sell order for $100. Yeah, that's the kind of trading style I like, right? If you got in nice and early in accumulation and you held, then just riding the trend is really the smartest play. That's really the smartest play. Everyone else chasing the breakouts of $50 or whatever. I mean, yeah, you could squeeze some money out of the market for sure, but it's not the smartest play. Anyways, so edgeless is all the rage these days. Riding it on the edge. Oh, looks like some YOLO whales taking some profit. So we had a breakout. And, it's possible that we might test the breakout point, right? Prior resistance turns support, just like here, right? Just like here. Look how picture perfect that is. Look how clean that is. Nice clean levels. So if you're ever wondering, oh, is it over? Is the bull trend intact? Ask yourself the simple question. Even if it dumps, even like this, if it dumps, ask yourself, has prior resistance turned into support? If the answer is yes, then stop chewing your fingernails and chill out. It's that simple, folks. I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner than this, right? It doesn't get any cleaner. Look at these levels. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, it's the end of the world. Someone's taking profit. It's dumping. It's chill. Stop staring at the charts. Go take a walk. Right? If you find yourself too emotional about this stuff, you're doing it wrong. You need a little more apathy. All right, so edgeless looks pretty good. Still riding some. See where it goes. Edging towards the moon. All right, we've got a request for AMP. All right, AMP. Well, so far AMP is testing prior resistance, possibility of it turning into support, possibility. Now, here's the thing. We had a classic sell on the news type scenario, right? Oh, the tech release, the blah release, whatever, and then sell on the news. It gets released and boom, people start dumping, people start selling, right? Now, initially, here's something to note. The markets change and they're dynamic and things shift, things change, right? So initially when I was looking at my AMP strategy and buying some AMP when the price was down here, so I bought some down here, right around the resistance area of this area somewhere. So I'm still in profit, but initially when I was looking at that, I asked myself, what coins on Poloniex haven't done some stupid pump? What coins are not up, 1,000+%? Right? So that's the question. And, that was several months ago. And I was like, okay, AMP and Counterparty and Big Crystals and so on and so forth. Now, the winds have shifted a little bit now. Predominantly because nothing on Poloniex is really rallying anymore. Poloniex volume has been running dry. Right? The markets are choppy as heck right now. You don't have the same mega rallies we were seeing a few months ago. And people are annoyed with Poloniex because their customer support is currently garbage. And they have a very glitchy trading platform. Therefore, we're not seeing the same kind of action that we've seen, and they're not adding any new coins either. They haven't added anything interesting lately, right? So a lot of the volume and liquidity has actually been moving towards BTREX. Chris is saying past few months have been pressed to gas markets, but right now it's time to pump the brakes. Yeah, we're definitely looking closer to distribution cycles than anything. And I think we're on the edge, right? I mean, if if Bitcoin pushes up for another round of bullishness, if it breaks into new highs, then we'll likely see another round of craziness. Everybody will be back in action. Everyone's gonna be all into and stuff. But that's of Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's still kind of at a crossroads, and this was one thing that Chris is adding in the trading room, is meaning don't overtrade, be very picky with plays right now. And I absolutely agree with that. I have been excruciatingly picky lately. Doesn't make for exciting trading, but I'm determined to keep my trading profits. And one way that you quickly start to lose your trading profits is by over trading and feeling the need to feed the greed, and always look for something. Oh, well, I'm just going to keep on. People have this everything in the markets is the opposite of what you think it is. Right? Be a contrarian. So, everyone wants to buy when the price is up. Litecoin was dry as a bone when it was at $4. Nobody wanted it. Now that it's at $50, everyone wants it. Now the volume's off the charts. Everyone wants Litecoin. Litecoin this, Litecoin that. Right? So that's one. So obviously when everyone wants it is when you should be thinking about selling. Right? And when nobody wants it is when you should be thinking about buying. And the same goes for trading. Right? People think that if you trade more, you'll make more money, right? It's like trading is not like working hours at a job, right? Trading is not like trading time for money, right? Just because you trade more doesn't mean you're going to make more money, more profit, right? In fact, it's proven time and time again that the traders who trade less and are pickier, and when they see a trade setup where they feel like they have an edge, they're not shy about pulling the trigger and being bold. Right? Make it count. When you see an edge, make it count. Obviously, you got to manage risk, but you only need one grand slam to win the game. Technically, you could make a fortune taking one trade a year. I mean, that's not exciting, and it certainly wouldn't be exciting for our school and for new traders. But technically, all you need is one big grand slam trade a year to make a life-changing amount of money. That's technically all you really need. And we've had multiple rounds of grand slams. Grand slam after grand slam after grand slam, home runs, and just hitting them out of the park, everything popping off. So anybody who accumulated anything probably made life-changing amounts of money, right? And that's why one should, if you in that category, you should think about diversifying and pulling money out of La La Land, and still letting some ride, of course, in case we get another round. But things have been slowing down a little bit. And that is sometimes the sign of distribution cycle. It's the pause. Doesn't mean that we can't go up some more. Doesn't mean we can't have another round of craziness. But do you remember? Let me just do a throwback to late 2016, early 2017. Who here remembers how incredibly boring and dry all the markets were when we were in accumulation? The end of 2016, the beginning of 2017, right? Factum, Ethereum. I mean, go back to trade alerts, right? There was like a calm before the storm. It was like, look at look at this, right? Look at this. Look how flat that market is. Look how boring this market is in accumulation. Right? All your only play for months would have been to buy and hold, and that's it. Nothing else. Patience. So boring. So incredibly boring. 3 months of boredom, except for the vision of knowing what was to come for those who are patient, right? Chris says boring equals preparing for bigger profits later. That's exactly it. Nobody wants Ethereum down here in the gutter. Right now I see all these new hedge funds and financial institutions starting crypto hedge funds. Like, yeah, I'm gonna put 50 million into some Ethereum, some Litecoin, some Ripple. And I mean, you gotta be kidding me. I feel sorry for the poor suckers that they're gonna take their money and put it into these funds. You gotta be friggin' kidding me. Do these people know nothing about market cycles? Oh yeah, let's buy some Ethereum after it's going up 4,000%. Yeah, that'll make our clients a lot of money. Except unless maybe they're buying first and then front running. Well, guess what, folks? Those people aren't in with the smart money. I don't care how big of an institution you are and whatever. They're not in with the smart money. They've just proven by default that they're in with the dumb money. I'm sorry to say it. I hate to break it to people. And you know, if you wanna start a fund, if you happen to be a Wall Street boy and you want to start a fund, then guess what? You should just be patient. Wait till it all crashes and burns again, right? Because it's never a matter of if, it's always a matter of when. Everyone, every single time you get in every single bubble, same thing in 2013, everyone always says, oh, but this time is different. Oh, but it's going to keep on going up forever. Oh, we'll never crash and burn. We'll never see a bear trend again. We're never going to experience that again. Oh, we're hitting mass adoption. Yeah, okay. All right. Winter's never coming. No offense to anybody, folks. I'm not trying to offend. I'm just trying to drill the message home, right? So anyways, you want to start a fund, be patient. Right? Really? You're going to really invest $50 million into something that's up 4,000%? Really? Are you kidding me? Jeez. All right. Buy my bags. Fine. It's ridiculous. Anyways, excellent time for trading. Horrible time for investing, personally. So, and you know, why bear trends happen in crypto more so than other markets? Because you don't have centrally controlled money to prop the markets up. You know, the Federal Reserve's not going to pump Ethereum up with some quantitative easing. Right? They're not going to print out some helicopter money to buy up the tokens to keep things afloat like they do in the regular markets. This is a 24/7 raw guerrilla jungle. This is the ocean, right? When all the top buyers start buying the top, and when that new money dries up, well, guess what? Guess what happens? You know when the bear trend and distribution hits? When the new money dries up and the old money takes profit. It's that simple. Then once that happens and it hits a reversal and the old money takes profit, then all the top buyers start to panic. Whether it's the ICO whales who raised millions of dollars in Ethereum, or whether it's the institutional investors who bought high because they also are subject to the same greedy FOMO emotions as anyone else. And you know what? They might be institutional money, but guess what? They're still new money, okay? I don't care how long they're hedge funds or how long they've been trading on Wall Street. This is a different beast, right? They know nothing about crypto black swan events, right? One black swan event, boom. There you go. There's the bear trend right there. One big exchange gets hacked. One smart contract gets drained and hacked like the Dow. One hard fork on Bitcoin. One this, one that. Black swan event. People crap their diapers. Game over. Lots of blood. Trader's paradise. Thanks for the cheap coins. Let's do it all over again, right? Anyways, am I saying we're in the bear trend yet? No. It's not bear until it's fully bear, until it's fully confirmed. You guys know the lines for Bitcoin, the ascending trend line, so on and so forth. We might get one final push, but the beautiful thing about August 1st is we have a Black Swan event that's scheduled. Doesn't get any better than that. Oh, someone just dumped their bags. RLC. So here's an interesting thing. Okay, so it's kind of probably be some dip buyers. Here's an interesting thing that I'm starting to notice with some of the mid caps and these ICOs, and this is kind of why I'm now staying away from a bunch of new mid caps. And the thing that I'm starting to see is that a lot of these are still kind of above ICO price, and you have so much new ICOs. The markets are just being diluted with constant tokens, so it's very, very difficult to pick the gems now, because everybody and their grandmother's got an ICO coming out, right? A token sale. And it's only a matter of time before perhaps some of these start to, maybe go on parity with ICO price or below or whatever. I mean, there's only so much liquidity to go around, so much new money. That's why we're seeing volume dropping on several markets, because it's getting too dispersed, right? Like every week there's some new tokens, this token, that token. Well, how much money do people have to keep on buying this token, that token? Obviously there's a lot of money in this space, no doubt, but eventually it's got to run dry. So let's see what happens with Bitcoin. Ultimately, I look towards Bitcoin for guidance of whether the bull trend is intact or not, right? Everything's been highly correlated to Bitcoin right now. Very, very highly correlated. So that's it. Some whale just capitulated, stumped their bags, and that's it. What any other markets you guys want to look at? Let's do like an open Q&A. XCL, Elastic. Everyone's shilling Elastic. Ooh, Elastic just had a big dump too. Man, but wait a minute. Last week, everyone on Twitter was shilling Elastic. Right? Where was it? Was like up here. Everyone's like Elastic this, Elastic that, Elastic, Elastic, Elastic. Right? Remember that? Everyone on Twitter was shilling it. Now look at it. It's in the gutter. Probably all those people shilling it were people who bought it dirt cheap somewhere else, trying to get their limit orders filled. Anyways, all these markets are liquid. I'm not getting excited about any of these anymore. XCL is like 14x the ICO price. Well, I'm not touching it then. Maybe quick bounce. But from here on in, I'm getting really picky with these. Just too much dilution happening, in my opinion. It's like another form of inflation. All these new coins. People are like, do you realize that people are just printing money out of thin air and selling it to you? Do you guys realize that? Do you know what's happening? People are creating money out of thin air and they're selling it to you. That's the token. That's the ICO model. Just realize that when you participate in an ICO. Just understand what you're doing. You can make money off of it. Hey, I participate in some ICOs too, right? But I'm picky because I know that I'm just buying someone else's bags that they paid nothing for. They just created out thin air and they're selling it to me for my hard-earned Bitcoin. This is how whales are born. You want to be a whale? Just go print out some ICO money and sell it to people. There you go. Insta whale, insta millionaire. There you go. Boom. No accountability to anybody, nothing. I'm just telling you the raw truth, folks. The raw truth. Not trying to sugarcoat anything. I don't think that's wrong. I mean, I think it's whatever. It's a free market. If I had a problem with it, I wouldn't participate at all. Or I think it's kind of cool that people can create their own value and money as a community and decide what's worth something and what's not, and let the free market decide. And I think it's actually quite honest because, instead of having to rely on the banks to just create money out of thin air, at least now people can do it on a grassroots level. So I don't necessarily have a problem with it on a philosophical level, but I also don't drink the Kool-Aid either. I know exactly what's going on. People are just printing money out of thin air and selling it to you or to me or whatever. That's the raw truth of it. And so if I participate in an ICO, I'm doing so knowing that that's what I'm doing. I'm making a conscious decision and not sugarcoating it for myself, right? That's why, I tend to go light on the ICOs. I'm picky. Fun? I don't know what fun is, but well, I do know what fun is, but one could say possibility of a early reversal here. It seems like a very newish market though. It's only been in for 1 day, and so, possible little bounce. But if I were to even play this, I generally don't like touching any market on price discovery. Even though it might look good, you might get a little bounce or whatever. I mean, let's go back to Exhibit A. There you go. Here's the price discovery. Yeah, maybe let's just do that. Oh, look, it's having a reversal, boom, and it's gone. And it's gone. Boom. In the gutter. Oh, but this market's so hot. It's the biggest thing in the whole world and all this stuff. And my friends told me all about it. And I saw some ads on Google and it's gone. Done. A little cynicism will keep you solvent. Remember that, folks. EOS. Who's where do we have EOS here? Utrex, Neos, Bitfinex, EOS. Okay, so EOS is all the rage. EO is all the rage, right? Well, I'm kind of on the fence about EOS. I think I tweeted something about this here. Let me just look here for a second. Find some fundamentals for you. All right, so here's the thing about EOS, right? So EOS is basically started by Daniel Larimer, right? Who started BitShares, who then left BitShares to start up Steemit, and then he's left Steemit now to start EOS. And someone posted the GitHub of EOS, and they basically just deleted entries that said BitShares and replaced it with EOS or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know all the details about the code or whatever, but it looks like repackaged garbage from other projects he had abandoned. Right? I kind of feel like if you're a developer and you just keep on leaving one project to start another so you can be a little whale in each one of your projects and then leave that one and start another. It just kind of smells like pump and dump to me. Repackaged garbage. And you know, that's and also with Steemit, there was a lot of fishiness about a pre-mine. There was a hidden pre-mine that he tried to cover up, that he got called out on. So I don't want to like point fingers or anything, but you know, on a philosophical level, even though I could probably make money with this, I don't know. I'm not buying into this. That's just me. You do what you want. You know, if you can make money off of it, then great. I know it's got a lot of volume and stuff, but it doesn't excite me for that reason. So that's just me. I kind of feel like if you start a crypto project, you should see it through, right? What's wrong with BitShares? You know, go fix BitShares. You know, imagine Vitalik left Ethereum to go start you know, some other smart contract platform or something else, right? After he like sold all his ether bags and then go to something else, right? You know. So I mean, BitShares was all the rage, you know. Was all the rage. And then it rallied again. All right, so anyways, that's just my personal opinion on EOS, right? But again, everyone has to make their own decisions. Like, just because I have this salty opinion over EOS doesn't mean that you can't make money off of it. Doesn't mean that it's not a profitable trade or a good investment or whatever. It just means that it's not my cup of tea and that I'm picky. That's all it means, right? And you know, you can still, you know, everyone has to decide for themselves. So if you're like, you know, hardcore EOS and you're getting EOS tattooed to your forehead or whatever, facial EOS tattoos, then all the power to you. You know, I hope you make money and I wish you well. That's just my opinion on it, you know, based on the fundamentals. I have to look a lot at the fundamentals with all these new projects coming out. Anyways, so that's just me. Don't let my opinions affect your trading or investment decisions. That's why everyone has to conduct their own due diligence, right? And conduct their own technical analysis, right? Because I can be wrong, and I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again, right? So, all right. So just, you know, Ethereum Classic, just slowly grinding it, doing not a whole lot of much. So I'm just still holding. It's pretty much that simple for me. I'm still holding for now. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. You know, if we get a little bounce here, then that would be a good sign. And again, you know, if we break out, then I'll take profit at 15. You know, and half I'm going to keep as an investment. That's it. That's my game plan. That hasn't changed. That's just kind of old news. So let's see what happens. I'm just being patient. I'm not in a rush. I'm not sweating bullets. I mean, if you bought up high, then maybe you're sweating bullets. But if you bought down here on this breakout here, all the way down here in this tiny little bull flag or pennant all the way down there, if you are still riding that breakout trade alert from months ago, then you probably shouldn't be sweating bullets either. All right, we have a request to look at some low caps. EQT and dots. I guess this will add lots of people shilling EQT. I see on Twitter shilling the low caps. I looked into this. It looks interesting. It's cheap. So let's just do some live analysis. Now listen. be careful. It's not very liquid, right? It's not very liquid. So, um, as you can see here, it's very liquid. But if I wanted to, fall in alignment with what we were talking about yesterday, let's just take a peek at some of the fundamentals. EQT. Equitrader. So this is definitely a low cap. This is the only market it's on is Cryptopia and this other no-name brand market. So market cap's fairly low. What's it do? Well, check out the announcement for that. It's monetizing market analysis on the blockchain. So it's using a swarm intelligence and TA. May or may not be good. Could be vaporware. Depends how much hype it gets. Really, it doesn't even matter. Ultimately, the only thing that ever matters in any of these markets is how much hype it has, because like 80% of all these projects are all vaporware anyways. 80% of them haven't even released any working functional product yet. So it's all based on sentiment and hype. Nice glittery pictures and stuff. Anyways, looks interesting. So that's EQT. Try to poke holes in it. Look at the pros and cons. See what the trolls are saying. Oh, you want to know about the divergence? Okay, so the ICO price was at 5,000 satoshis. So you're saying it was like over here? So then I guess it's not terribly far from its ICO price, but anyways, just be mindful that it's not liquid. You don't want to just pump the liquid markets, right? But it's kind of creating this bull pennant. Dot is like a Cryptopia token coin. Particular exchange. It's not my cup of tea. I mean, it's just not my. Look at this. It's not my cup of tea, right? EQT, I could say, okay, well, it's only a double from ICO price or whatever. That still could be reasonable for a low cap, but something like this, like, oh yeah, let me just load that boat up. Give me some $1,400% dots. All right, so I'll look at Ant. So yeah, this is just basically a token linked to Cryptopia. Not my cup of tea because it's up. Ridiculous percentage. Not super liquid. I don't stay solvent by loading up at 1,800% on illiquid markets. Right? As you can see here, what goes up must come down. What goes up must come down. Hey, oh, what about this pump? Oh, this time is different. Oh, it came down. Oh, it's different. Chase the top, guys. Go ahead. This time is different. Okay. Could it break out and go higher? Sure it can. Is there considerable amount of downside risk on a market that has no liquidity? Where's the buy support? Some dot whale's gonna probably take a dump. Okay, Ant shares. Or Ant, sorry, Ant. No, this isn't Ant shares. This is Ant. Just Argon, that's it. That's what I was looking for. I don't know why it has an abbreviation of Ant. Higher lows. It could be a nice little cute dip buy. It's kind of testing some support. You know, obviously if it broke this immediate line, it could hit a reversal. This could be like an Adam and Eve double bottom. Possible. But also not super liquid. Still holding. Still holding cement. All right. What is the minimum percentage up that you'd consider? It really depends on the market. You know, obviously if it's Bitcoin, then, you know, Bitcoin's up quite considerably percentage wise. Something that's very, very liquid. You know, I could long any price on Bitcoin. If the technicals seem good. For an altcoin, it really depends on the liquidity and, you know, the project and this and that. You know, this would be more in alignment with something lower or cheaper that I would buy versus that other market we saw that's up 1,500%. So generally when I buy the liquid stuff, I like to buy it I like to buy the dips, or I like to buy it low, because you have, in my opinion, you have more upside. And, you know, slippage, it's very, very easy for an illiquid market to just have a big red candle and do a full retrace, right? As far as Bitcoin divergence, someone's asking about Bitcoin divergence. All right. So, I mean, the question is this divergence or is this hidden bull divergence? Right? So we've obviously got some divergence here, which is a stochastic RSI. Okay, let's look at it quickly on Bitcoin Wisdom. So, you know, you had a lot of divergence here, but, you know, you can't trade based on that alone, right? So in essence, it's like this. Either it's divergence and a sign of momentum that's waning, like, you know, the money's running dry, the momentum's running dry, and it's a sign of a reversal. Or in some rare cases, and it's a continuation on a bull trend known as hidden bull divergence, which is essentially the market winding up, recharging for another round of crazy momentum. Now we could see here that we've already broken out of this descending line, right? So the momentum's already cranked up. Now let's see if we can actually go somewhere here. The volume's also tapered off and dropped as well, so that's something to keep in mind. I'm not seeing a very high volume breakout here yet, so we're still on the fence. We're not out of the woods yet. Very, very choppy markets, so just be mindful of that. Probably not the best time to margin long. You know, spot comes with less risk. Margin, you really gotta be certain if you're gonna pull the trigger and add some leverage to your trade. Quantum Resistance Ledger. Still holding some of this. Apparently I'm bag holding some of this now. So there you go. Kind of dropped some more. Produced a higher low. Sharp sell-off. Little bounce. Now, you know, this is really the line. You know, for it to be considered a reversal. So it's, you know, it's a newish market, right? And obviously it had a big rally. Everyone got all hyped and pumped about it. Then they all raced each other to the bottom. And it bounced. And basically, in order for this bear channel to be considered a reversal, it needs to bounce up through, break out through this immediate descending trend line. I'm bag holding some of this right now. Another reason why I'm starting to get really picky about these mid caps. A lot of these mid caps aren't producing similar fruit as a lot of the ones we were accumulating months ago, right? Because the markets are shifting. We're at a crossroads than we were months ago, right? So, and also position sizing and not going too YOLO on any one of these markets, but spreading out your risk is also a way to manage risk for these low caps or mid caps. Sorry, this would be a mid cap. GNT is testing a trend line. I did close some on this bounce. Some of my position. I had a fairly nice size position. So like I'd mentioned, you know, when if you want the best possible price for something, wait till it bounces and set some limit orders, and then you can basically could just, you know, buy into your sell orders or could fly into your sell orders. But it's testing this line, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bounce. Wouldn't be surprised at all if we got a little bounce. And obviously, you know, so if one wanted to buy some, then if one were to buy off of this line, perhaps one could say that there's quite a bit of resistance in through this area. Kind of lines up with 50% area. So maybe it would kind of have a little bounce. That way, if I were to buy a dip, I would probably just have a measured target and I'd have an exit. Any kind of market I get into, anything I trade, I'm going to have shorter targets now. Until we have confirmation that we're back in the, hey, this is going to go up 1,000%. Until we have confirmation of that, I think a lot of the markets or trades or anything I get into, I'm just going to have shorter targets. Much more modest targets. Unless, of course, we get another round of craziness. But we're not going to know until Bitcoin makes a move. I think everything's kind of in limbo right now. This isn't my cup of tea. It could very easily be a dead cat bounce. I don't know. You know, you could trade this stuff if you have quick targets. But it pains me to buy anyone's bags at 3,000%. You know, basically, if I bought some of this now, it means that I'm buying some clown's bags that they bought over here for at a 2,000% premium. Well, you know, if I'm going shopping for something, I want to get the best price. I just don't feel like that's producing the best value and price for me, personally. That's just me. I'm picky that way. Could you make money off of it? Could this break out and be the mother of all rallies? Sure. Yeah, it could. Does that mean I have to trade it? Nah. So this looks like it's, you know, kind of producing another wave. Where did I buy ARK? I think we bought it like over here or something. Maybe somewhere. I think it was on this dip right here because I was in the red a little bit. And I'm pretty sure I sent out an alert to take some profit. Sold off my bags. Looks like we're possibly making another wave. So if we made another wave, you know, maybe the next wave would be up here. If could also be a dead cat. You know, did kind of break out of this immediate descending line. Yeah, I went mild into Tezos. I didn't go YOLO or load the boat or put in more money than I could afford to lose or whatever, but I wanted a taste. It's like this, you know. If it goes cheaper on the exchanges, then hey, I can buy some more. And if it doesn't ever go to the token sale price, then great. You know, I bought in on day one for the 20% bonus, and there you go. So, you know, that's basically it. So far it looks like this is making another wave up. So possible we'll get another wave up on this, just like here. Right? So that's possible. Time will tell. Time will tell. All right, so people asking about CFI, co-fund it. The volume dropping is confusing. The price dropping is confusing. You know, it's just going sideways. Not a highly super liquid market. You know, but I do know I was speaking with Daniel, and obviously, like on their last sentiment token sale that just recently happened, they sold out very, very quickly, right? So what I do know is they're going to create another model, a new model, where they'll have like a pre-sale where they'll have limited amounts so everyone could participate, and then anything after that, you know, the whales can have at it and race each other after that, up to a certain amount. But there's also some talk about for anyone who's a mega whale who wants to take the lion's share of these new token sale projects, of having a requirement that they own more than 5,000 CFI to do that, like sliding scale. You know, could even be up to like needing to own 100,000 CFI if you want to be like a mega whale on something. So, which I think would be kind of fair. Not only would that give it more utility, but also it would be fair in the sense that, early adopters or whatever, people who participated near the beginning get rewarded for holding when it was cheap, and those who are late, or keep on dumping after everything and then having to buy in later, whatever, then they get to eat at the table last. They get the table scraps for not having patience or whatever. So I think that could be interesting on a fundamental level. On a technical level, chart looks pretty boring. Just a lot of sideways. Possible kind of accumulation zone. But like a lot of these mid caps, not a ton of liquidity really. I see things like this as like a longer term play. Maybe like some other, like, maybe like Economy last year. ICN. Actually, that's a good lesson. A lot of those those token sales from last year, Economy, Waves, Lisk, all that kind of stuff, a lot of those performed really well given enough time, right? So when it was early, I mean, you could have dumped your bags below the token sale price right here, right? This is below token sale price. You could have dumped your bags there, and that would have been selling at a loss at the lowest possible price. So anyone who was impatient looking for a quick flip, and look, this was like, a month of bland nothing, right? And then and then there's the long game after a year, less than a year, boom. Right? For the patient people, some nice returns there. And I sent out a trade alert for breakout play over here. And then I sent out a trade alert for, taking profit up here. I'd say that was a pretty good trade. Pretty nice returns. So it's a patience game, right? Dollar-wise, 35 cents was the breakout. Went up to above $5. Listen, once I saw it over $5, I was like, okay, I'm selling into strength. I'm just being greedy if I don't take some profits, because that's some pretty nice returns for a few months of holding. Pretty decent returns. Check out Waves, right? Here's another one that was like a boring garbage like mid cap. Right? Nobody wanted Waves down here, right? Nobody cared about Waves. Oh, Waves, so boring. I don't have any. I mean, I did have some, and I flipped some and made some little bit of money, but I didn't keep it. So I'm guilty of that. And then boom. Look at that. And now people want to buy Waves. Why don't you just trade the Waves and buy, I think maybe a new accumulation zone would perhaps be like prior resistance. Turn support, maybe. So, patience, really, is what it all comes down to. Let's see. Lisk was another one, right? Oops. Lisk was another one. Now, Lisk was a bit different. I mean, I flipped 300. I participated in the ICO, and I was no fool. I flipped my profit right there. Boom. I sold with the rest of the clowns up here. Or when it bounced or whatnot. Took my 350% and ran. But there was all the early signs of reversal and this and that, right? Right, there's the breakdown of thing, and then it started to make higher lows. Come on. You know, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Right? We'll get to recognize the difference between like an accumulation and a reversal and a possible distribution cycle. Hey, there's a lot of red here. There's a lot of blood. Could we get a dead cat? Sure. Is now the time to buy it? Not for me, it ain't. You know, oh, look at this. A lot of red. Oh, distribution. Once you start getting these really grindy bear channels, these grindy bear trends, then you know the bear trend's on. Once you start seeing prices just grinding down. You know, if. You know, maybe we get a recovery. Maybe this is just a correction. Hey, look at Dash, right? Speaking of Dash, let's look at Dash. Right? Things could produce wave after wave after wave. So this could be breaking out. So who knows? Maybe, just maybe, some people might try to hedge all this Bitcoin drama into some altcoins, and we might see another round of rallies, right? Or maybe this isn't a breakout. Maybe it's just a dead cat bounce and it'll flop. Or maybe it'll be a double top. Or, you know, we won't know until it breaks out. So, it's not my cup of tea. But doesn't mean it's not a good trade if it breaks out. Everyone's just got to trade what their cup of tea is, right? UBQ is looking kind of grindy. I wouldn't mind reaccumulating some. I bought some UBQ down over here in the gutter. You know, maybe there's like a reaccumulation. It depends. Everything looks like it's about to hit a distribution cycle to me, that it's the early signs of reversal, but ultimately I truly think that it's up for Bitcoin to decide. Right? Anyway, so buying up here is not like, there's a big head and shoulders here. It's not my preferred kind of setup. Now, if we got a big washout dip or something, I'd probably scoop some up. Okay, so UBQ, I mean, I like this project. You know, don't get me wrong, I like this project. I'd like this project more if I could buy some more at a cheaper price. Then I'd be all about this project. I'd be all about it. So it's kind of like an Ethereum clone with no ICO. That was a swap from another project called Jumbucks, which in my opinion is one of the most horrible names I've ever heard in crypto, but UBQ sounds a little bit better. All right. Anything else you guys want to look at? Loon? BCN. Okay, sorry. Someone said BCN, and then I'll go to Loon. And then I should probably wrap it up. Oh, BCN. Okay. Let's see. Kind of bled out there a little bit. Oh, this is a Poloniex coin, huh? Kind of getting close to that 50 retracement. This is, what is that? Bytecoin. Oh, yeah. Huge market cap, though. I'd definitely be careful with this. I mean, there could be a little bounce play here. You know, I would probably do like a super conservative target if I were to do that and just kind of go for like a 40% move. You know, maybe like 35 if I were to do. I'm not going to because I'm picky, but, you know, and I would maybe set my risk. So liquid though. That's a pretty big hit to take. 23%. I don't know. If it was like a nice sharp candle, I think there's a higher probability of a bounce, but you gotta be very, very careful with these. Like, yeah, you could get a bounce, but look where it came from, right? This is just whales pumping, guys. There's no reason for this market to go up. Most of these markets on Poloniex were just a few whales who accumulated cheap, who just pumped the markets up with their pump bots and getting all the new money chasing, chasing like a dog chasing a ball, an invisible ball, and then they pull the plug and dump on everyone, right? And that's that. So, just be careful. You could take the trade, just understand the risk. So pros, hey, it's almost at a 78 retrace, and it's kind of retesting this like one support area. So it could get a little bounce. I'd probably have quicker targets if I were to take that trade. Cons, the rug could get pulled and you could end up bag holding and, until it falls into the gutter. Not a very sharp red candle. This is more one of those grindy bear channel candles, right? Very grindy. Tends to be my least favorite dip buys when it just grinds down. My favorite dip buys are when you get the sharp candles, because they usually bounce very fast. It's like slamming. It's like the difference between slamming a rubber ball into the concrete and it bounces versus just letting the rubber ball gently roll out of your hands and dribble. Right? Sometimes they'll just dribble little bounces until it hits the floor, right? So until it stops. So that's my analogy for the two different types of things. I did cover ICN. Okay. All right, one sec. Let me just. We already looked at Digibyte. Oh, did we? All right, let's look at Digibyte. Oh, Loon. Sorry, we had a request to look at Loon. Still bag holding some Loon. Not one of my better picks for now. Until it is. More of the same. Some sideways chop. Neo. Or they haven't. Oh no, not Neo. They're rebranding that. Okay. HMQ. That kind of looks ugly to me. Looks very drippy. But doesn't mean it can't go up. Doesn't excite me. But again, that doesn't mean it can't go up. I just don't see a lot of edge in it, for me anyways. XDN. I'm also in like hyper picky mode right now. Oh, this looks like it's having a little bounce. So prior resistance turns support. Up 27%. Breakout from a immediate descending trend line. This could possibly make a little bounce or move. I mean, how old is this? This is an old coin, isn't it? Whoa, this is really old. Alright, well. Let's just take a look at it. XDN. digital notes. This is an old project, I guess, that had some life breathed into it. Possible bounce play, not something I would bag hold if it flopped. Request to look at strat. I'm just really kind of waiting. Like, if I feel that if Bitcoin breaks out of 2,800, then yeah, it's well, it's like this. It's testing support, but this is generally considered a bearish pattern. It's a descending triangle. But we've seen other descending triangles that have recovered. So for me, a Stratus play would be very simple. If I were to buy some there, you know, and I wouldn't have to risk too much, you know, maybe risk like 9%. Cut out, risk 9%. And I probably wouldn't hold it for a bigger move than, you know, maybe I'd go for 40. This is a possibility, you know, and if this breaks, then, you know, it could recover and make another wave. We've seen that happen before, but generally speaking, descending triangles are considered bearish. So a lot of stuff kind of smells like distribution to me. You know, green, 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 lots of red, lower highs. You know, red, red, red. Banging on the door of support. Knock, 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 you know. So I'm not terribly excited about a lot of things, and until we see what the next move is, the next trajectory. Are we truly in distribution, or did we just hit some correction cycles? Major corrections on everything. Ultimately, though, I think if Bitcoin went bearish, then we'd see a lot more blood. But Bitcoin still kind of looks bullish to me, which obviously I got my money where my mouth is. I'm long on the spot market, so let's see if we can wave up and get some nice volume. That'd be something. Break out. Okay, I'm going to look at two more, and that's it. BAT and Trust. TRST. BAT, Trust, and Vox, and that's it, because we're going on an hour and a half. I already looked at Edge. All right. Yeah. It's not looking so hot. Looks like we got an immediate descending trend line here. Yeah, I still have some BAT. If we got a really nice big washout candle or something, then I might cost average down for bounce play and maybe look for a graceful exit. I think the problem with this one is that its market cap started a little too high, and so now it's just bleeding out. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that with a lot of the new mid caps and stuff coming out now. So that's why as of like a few weeks ago, I've stopped looking at mid caps. I've stopped looking at all these tokens, all these ICO tokens and stuff. You know, this is funny. You know, this is a market where people are spending like $2,000 in ETH fees. It looks like there's some buy support here. Looks like someone's trying to accumulate some cheap BAT. So that's usually, I'll be patient. I've been minus 40 on things and then been up like 400% in profit. So, right. It's it's a different kind of play than trading a liquid market. But it looks like there's definitely some buy support here. Some people are definitely accumulating. So essentially, if we break this immediate line, we could see some green. Right, it's definitely getting close and testing it. So, sometimes you get a sell off and then it, bounces and whatnot. Way too high market cap on BAT. What is the purpose to billions of coins market caps? The total amount of coins is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if it's like, I mean, sure, you want to have decent distribution, but market cap is just supply times price. So the market cap is more important, right? Whether it's like billions of coins or millions of coins or trillions, doesn't really make a difference. Obviously, the more supply it has, the cheaper the price is going to be. But market capitalization is really how you determine, which is just price times supply. Also, there's another component to that you could have a paper market cap, but it doesn't mean you can pull that kind of money out of the market because of liquidity, right? You need buy support and this and that. All right. TRST, Vox, and then that's it.